Hi, everybody, and welcome to Comics from the Future. I'm Andy.
I'm Matt.
We're here with Infinity Flux Comics out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. This is a really big show where we show you some of the biggest and best books that are coming out that in the future that you can pre-order
Right.
by this weekend.
You can pre-order them in the future, but not too far in the future because the
you
deadline is
might
Sunday.
miss-
Yeah.
You might miss the order. But no, your orders are due this weekend, Sunday, to be specific. So don't miss out on that. So you don't miss out on any of the comics goodness, because there's a lot of good stuff, and we hate when people miss out on the stuff they want to read. And let me tell you, there's some big ones on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Our starting off one is going to be a if history tells us, it's going to be big.
Yep.
We've had 3 other books that have told us so. So let's get into it. Just remember, you can head over to infinityflux.net right now and place your pre-orders. It's fun to do it as you're watching this. It's like one of those classic read-alongs. If only we had a little bouncing ball.
Oh, that's right.
Could tell you what to order. But we're moving on to our featured comics.
We are going to start with Ultimates #1. This is the new book in the new Ultimate Universe. We've got Spider-Man, we've got Black Panther, we've got X-Men, and now we've got Ultimates, which is basically the Ultimate Universe's version of the Avengers. This one featuring Tony Stark, Captain America, Sif, Thor, Doom, and then presumably Giant Man and Wasp, although we haven't seen them yet. Part of their story is going to be in this. And ever since Tony Stark gave Peter Parker the Spider so that he could catch up to his destiny as being Spider-Man, he has now been trying to do the same thing for other heroes. Now, there was an animated trailer for this released about a week ago that was really cool, and there's one part in it that I thought was really neat where Tony writes on a board, it says 2 years to save the future. Or just, no, 2 years to save the world, which I thought was really cool because, that was set up in the Ultimate Universe series, is that the Maker and some other, I don't know if that whole cabal is, but they're trapped in the dome.
Yeah.
And the dome is going to be opened in 2 years. And when those guys come out, it's not going to be good. So.
But it's like 2 years outside of the dome, but like inside, it's like a lot longer or something like that, because time works different.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like what. I think even at one point they said who or what will come out of the dome. So I feel like this is going to be our like spine book of the Ultimate Universe. Yeah. This is where the big stuff is going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's just cool that there's like this. We know that there's this thing happening in the future, and Tony Stark is trying to do everything he can to get ready for it. I think that is such a cool story. So brand new Ultimate book. All of the other Ultimate books have sold like hotcakes. Sold out, multiple printings, that kind of thing, and I have no doubt that this is going to do the exact same. So, definitely be sure to get your pre-order in for this so that you don't miss it. We've got some cool covers for this. This is our A cover right here. There is a Brian Hitch cover,
which is a fun homage to Ultimates #1 from
like 20 years ago. There's a Bon Coelho foil variant. There is a In-Hyuk Lee Ultimate Special variant and like I said, we're going to see how they come about. There's a little bit in that animated trailer too, where I think they run some kind of delivery service or something, and Iron Man stops him in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
And I guess he's going to do the same thing for them as well. There's a John Tyler Christopher negative space variant with Iron Man, although he's not Iron Man. Doesn't he go by Iron Lad in this?
Iron Lad, yeah, I think so.
I think is what he said his name would be for at least for a while. And then there is an awesome Ryan Stegman variant, which is the one I'm going to be getting.
Yeah,
it's so cool.
So dynamic, fisheye lens.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Okay, next up we have not a #1, but a issue 50. This is Amazing Spider-Man issue 50 by Zeb Wells and Ed McGuinness. But what's so big about this? Of course, it's a landmark issue whenever they hit the big milestones, 25, 50, 75, 100. But in this one, the Green Goblin returns. It's been a while since Green Goblin has been Green Goblin. Since in the 616 universe, Green Goblin. But Norman Osborn, who got his sins taken away, however that worked back in the previous run, it looks like they're making their way back to him and revitalizing the Goblin, and Spider-Man is going to have to stop him. Now, what's so special about this? We have seen teases for like issue 53 where it looks like Spider-Man is going to maybe once again get Norman Osborn's sins, or something's going to transpire where he becomes Spider-Goblin. and that is going to begin here. I don't know if you'll see Spider-Goblin, but the transition will
Right.
start right here, which is really cool. Plus, this is an oversized issue, so we've got a story by Mark Wolfman, plus many, many more. So this is kind of kicking off the next big story arc in Amazing Spider-Man. And love to see Ed McGuinness back doing art for this. So I think this is going to be really interesting to see what's in store and what is all this goblin stuff about. And of course, since it is a big issue, there's a lot of covers for it. So this is our A cover by McGuinness. We also have a Greg Capullo variant, really, really cool. We've got a Ivan Coelho black costume variant, which I really, really like this. We've got a John Romita Jr. variant. And we have a John Tyler Christopher Virgin Negative Space variant. So some really cool ones. I know they're doing kind of the black suit because of the anniversary of the black suit's first appearance.
I feel like maybe that's why they're doing these, or maybe the black suit will be part of this story. I have no idea.
I hope so. I'm
hope
always happy seeing it come back.
Yeah. Well, next is Union Jack the Ripper Blood Hunt #1. This is going to be, I think, maybe a 3-issue
Most
miniseries.
of these are 3.
Yeah, so this is a tie-in to the Blood Hunt event, written by Kevin Scott, the artist by Kev Walker, and in this one, obviously part of the Blood Hunt event, vampires are running amok across the entire planet, and Union Jack is making it his mission to protect London. But who will he have to face to keep the city from falling? Probably a whole bunch of vampires. If that covers any indication. I think Union Jack is cool. It's been forever since we've seen him. I don't even know as much about him as I'd like to. Probably because he hasn't been used that much. So I can't wait to see more of him, and this is a great place to do it. So we have this A cover right here. There is a blood red blank variant, and then there's a Philip Tan variant as well.
He's always had a really cool design and everything.
Yeah.
It's just I feel like he hasn't. Was he ever on a team?
I think he was part of if I remember correctly, he was part of the Invaders for a while, and he's popped up here and there. Yeah.
So this will be cool if you've never read his stuff. I feel like this might be a fun way to jump in.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got Action Comics number 1065. This is going to be House of Brainiac Part 3. So this is rolling out really fast, which I'm super happy about because it feels like the momentum of this series is reflected in its release.
Yeah.
So all of this is happening very fast in the story. I believe we are getting in maybe 2 weeks we're getting the one-shot special.
Yeah, it's not. I don't believe it's next week. I think it's the week after.
Yeah, and then we're getting this one. So we're really not taking too many breaks. But this is exciting because Superman and Lobo have their hands full with Brainiac's Lobo army, his Zarnian army, which we've seen are pretty formidable. It's just tons of Lobos.
Yeah, right.
In a very scary way. But it's going to be up to Supergirl and Connor Kent to face off against the actual Brainiac. So I think this is really cool. I'm sure at some point we're going to get Lobo and Superman facing off against Brainiac.
Sure.
But first off, we've got to have Superboy and Supergirl kind of maybe knock his power down a little bit.
Take him down a peg or two.
Yeah, before Superman comes in there and cleans it all up. But if you know what's been going on with them, I feel like it might be little guys versus a big guy. There might be some shrinking involved. So very, very cool. And it says they're going to be joined by some unexpected deadly allies. So very excited for this. If you're enjoying the House of Brainiac so far, don't forget that is going between those 2 series, and you'll want to pre-order both of them to get the full thing. So this is our A cover. We also have a Jimenez variant, which is really fun. I feel like Superman's going to burn the tires of that bike right off. We've got a Paulo Rivera variant. We have a Talavera variant with Supergirl. And we have an Ethan Young Keenan Kong AAPI month variant.
All right, so this is a little bit different than we normally do. So this is the Godzilla, the original Marvel Years Omnibus. Now, normally we save collected editions, trade paperbacks, and hardcovers, all that kind of stuff. Normally we save that for the end of the show, but this is really cool. Yeah. We wanted to go ahead and highlight this now. So this is going to be $100, and it collects the entire 2-year run of Godzilla when Marvel Comics had the license for that back in the mid 70s, I believe. So issues 1 through 24, and that's the whole series. That's all there was. And it was a really cool series, though, because since Marvel had the license to it, Godzilla faced off against the Fantastic Four, the Avengers, Nick Fury, the Champions, and Red Ronin as well. And all of that is in here. Godzilla gets shrunk down at one point and like is in the sewers.
He's like fighting a rat in the
Yeah,
sewers.
yeah, all kinds of cool stuff. And it's cool that Marvel has got the license to be able to do this. You know, we've recently had the ROM Omnibus, or the Romnibus, is as what it should be called. We recently got the first Micronauts Omnibus just this week. Yeah, this week. And so now they're doing Godzilla as well. So we wanted to go ahead and tell you about this right now at the top of the show because we just think it's really cool. We're really excited for it.
This is something like the ROM and like the Micronauts, I'd say we're probably never going to get just because the license were all over the place. So for Marvel to finally have this, and it's weird, Marvel's putting this out, but DC just had their crossover with the Justice League.
Right.
But IDW's still publishing some Godzilla, so it looks like they're letting Godzilla, make its rounds.
Plus, there's two different like Godzilla movie universes with -1, and then the new one with the Kong. I mean, lots of Godzilla stuff. So again, we just wanted to show you this because it is super duper cool. So this is the standard edition cover that are available in bookstores like Barnes and Noble, Amazon, things like that. This is the one of the direct market covers, which you can only get at comic book shops like ours. And this is the first issue of the original run. And then there is another direct market variant. I do not remember. I think this is another cover. I don't remember which number it is though. But again, this one is also only available in the direct market at comic book stores.
Yeah, and we don't have it in this show, but at the same time this is coming out, they're doing a facsimile edition of #1 of Godzilla.
Okay, cool.
That you get a little one or you get the entire thing, but very cool. Next up we have Monolith. So back when Todd McFarlane said he's going to be rolling out a lot more Spawn-related books, he wasn't lying. So this is going to be a 3-issue miniseries, and this is going to be the origin of the hulking hellspawn known as Monolith. He's kind of a character that's popped up here and there, but we don't really know, like he doesn't seem very human or whatever, because it seems like he is from deep space. So we're going to see his origin from deep space to his first encounter with Al Simmons. And what is his connection to Omega Spawn, which you can see up there behind him. So very, very cool. I like all of the expanded Spawn universe. This is going to be by Sean Lewis and Valeria Giordano. So if you have been reading a lot of the Spawn books, or maybe you want to try out a new one, I think this one will be really fun. It sounds like it'll catch you up on that character pretty well. So we've got our A cover right here. That is your interior artist as well, so it's going to look really good. And then, of course, we have a McFarlane variant.
And next is Superior Spider-Man #7. Now, I think we're getting #6 next week, I believe, right?
I think so.
So we'll know a little bit more about this, but the solicitation for this simply says, Otto Octavius, the superior Spider-Boy, that's all you need to know. That's what the solicitation says. But it does say, was this the plan all along to do this with Spider-Boy, to introduce him into the Marvel Universe just to turn him into a superior version? I kind of don't think so. But we did get a little bit of a tease at how this may happen with the end of issue #5. And like I said, issue #6, I think, if I'm not mistaken, comes out next week. So we'll know a little bit more about this next week. But we just wanted to show this to you too because it's really cool. He's already got his superior version of his costume with the red up top and the black, just like Superior Spider-Man, which I loved. So this should be really cool. I love Spider-Boy. I think this could be a really fun story too. So this is our A cover, and then we have a Humberto Ramos variant, which that's great. That's scary looking.
Yeah, and it's funny how Spider-Boy, he's basically had his own clone saga.
Right.
He's gonna have his superior, and then we know coming up soon he's got his own Spider-Verse thing. It's like he's getting the crash course in being a Spider-Person.
Spider-Man 101.
Yeah, it's a Spider-Man 101 class. Okay, next up is a really fun one. This is William of Newbury, #1. This is written and drawn by Michael Avon Oeming, who has been in the industry forever, worked with Bendis on Powers and stuff like that. But I think this sounds really fun. It is they call it a cross between Hellboy and Redwall. If you know the old Redwall books, the kind of young adult books about mice and everything, but they're knights and all of that. In this anthro anthropomorphic supernatural series. It's a lot of words. So in this, it says it's loosely based on real events in the 12th century England. I think that's more of like kind of the tonal setting. And this whole era was known as anarchy because the country was beset by plague, civil war, and I don't think the real one was, but at least this one is plagued by demons.
Oh,
I
yeah.
wasn't around then. Maybe there were demons running around. I'm not sure.
Probably.
But we meet William of Newbury. He's a timid monk who fears many earthly things, but he's confident when he stands up against true evil. So it feels like he's got his he can fight the supernatural and all of that, but maybe he's scared of storms
Mm.
and rope bridges or something like that. So he fights to restore the peace, but his brother is intent on stopping him, fearing for his soul. So I really like this. Hopefully, this becomes a big thing, kind of like a Hellboy, because it sounds like you got your singular character up against supernatural in a fun setting. So if that sounds like something you like, definitely check this one out. And there is only the one cover for it. And next up, we got other number ones. There is still a few number ones to talk about.
Starting with Godzilla, Mechagodzilla, 50th anniversary special. Speaking of Godzilla being all over the place at a bunch of different publishers, I do believe this is a one shot because there's not like a number two on Previews World or anything. But in this one, it sounds really cool. There's a reporter who is profiling the history of Mechagodzilla leading up to the new model of Mechagodzilla. But while he's doing this, he's going to find himself entangled in a much deeper conspiracy. And probably Godzilla's going to be in it too, somehow. So, yeah, just celebrating the 50th anniversary of Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla in this new one shot. This is our A cover, and then we have a Marsh cover as well.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, next up we've got the return of Gun Honey. If you have read it before, you know this is awesome. It's the hard case crime, noir style storytelling, very secret agent. And in this one, after a year of hiding from the government, agents looking to kill her, Joanna Tan hatches a plan to turn the tables on them. But this is going to take her from the jungles of Borneo to the sands of the Gobi Desert. But when the sides converge, will anyone be left standing after the explosive climax? I'm guessing. So if you've never read this, it's super super fun. It's very like there's no supernatural elements to it. It's all very Mission Impossible, James Bond feeling, and very kind of classic crime
Yeah.
novel. So very, very fun there if you've never tried it out. So we've got our A cover here by Derek Chu. We have a Phillips cover and a Darnell variant. There's a lot of other covers too if you go over to infinityflux.net and check them out. And we've got notable 2s and 3s, continuations of series we didn't want you to miss.
Starting with Black Widow and Hawkeye number 3. This is I believe it's a 5-issue miniseries. The first 2 are already out, and it's been great. In this one, Black Widow still is trying to use her symbiote to cure Hawkeye of the poison that he got shot with in issue number 2, which just came out this week. But little do they know, they are in the crosshairs of blank. I don't want to say who who the kind of villain behind all this was, but we saw that person at the very end of last issue. In case you haven't read, I won't spoil it, but they are in that person's crosshairs. So hopefully Black Widow can cure Hawkeye in time. So we have our A cover right here, and we have a Ben Harvey variant, and then there's also a Philip Tan black costume variant with Hawkeye in a black. It's like, wow, okay. I guess Black Widow already has her symbiote, so they needed to show Hawkeye in his. But yeah, so I guess celebrating 40 years of the black costume, which is probably why they're doing those Spider-Man ones too.
Yeah, I like how this one, even though I know it's like a white accent, it looks like his pants go like you see his full ankle.
Yeah, yeah.
Very very charming Black Widow. Okay, next up we have X-Men 97 number 3. This is our penultimate issue of the prequel series to the Disney Plus breakout hit X-Men 97 show. Not a whole lot of information about this one. But I think we're going to creep ever closer to seeing how the show and the comic, bridging the gap between the original show, the comic, and then the new show. So just very cool in there. Wanted to show it off. We've got our A cover right here. We've got a Hildebrand Jubilee variant. We've got a Ryan Gonzalez variant. And we also want to mention there is a X-Men 92 #2 second printing variant. This is the Marvel Animation variant. And this is just another gut punch.
Too soon, Marvel. Too soon.
But a lovely cover nonetheless.
Next is Symbiote Spider-Man 2099 #3. This is a 5-issue miniseries. In this one, this sounds interesting because the Venom symbiote draws the attention of Loki.
No.
And, up till now, it's just been, Spider-Man 2099, Venom 2099, like just like more like Spider-Man level stuff. But now Loki's going to get involved. And he believes that this incarnation of the symbiote stands poised to become the most dangerous being in this or any reality.
Oh.
So that doesn't sound like too much of a good time for Spider-Man, but hopefully he can stop it. So this is our A cover right here, and then we have a Jan Bazaldua Stormbreakers variant.
Which I think is Nightcrawler?
Maybe? I don't know why.
Ghost Rider Nightcrawler?
Yeah, Ghost Rider Nightcrawler 2099 with a symbiote. I don't know. Yeah. It's like a smorgasbord of stuff.
Okay, next up, we've got Suicide Squad Dream Team #3 of 4, because we are creeping ever closer to absolute power, and this is supposed to be a kind of key in that overall story. I think probably the Amanda Waller parts are we're going to see how she's set up for that.
Well, and careful, not a key as in like key issue, but just like an important part of the story.
The old form of the word.
Right, you're right, yeah.
But in this one, Dreamer gets some unlikely allies to help her escape Waller's clutches. So just continuing this very interesting series that I'm looking forward to seeing how it kind of plays out in the end. We've got our A cover right here, and we have a Sarmento variant as well.
Next is Green Lantern #11. I love this series. A couple things happen in this. Carol Ferris has been sort of wrestling with her feelings for Hal for a while. And in this issue, she's going to make a choice that will change her and Hal's lives forever. While she's doing that, though, Hal is going to face off against the United Planets, try to get the word out about their corruption in the hopes that he can reestablish the Green Lantern Corps. So that should be really cool. And there's also a backup story that is a tie-in to the House of Brainiac storyline with Guy Gardner. This must take place before House of Brainiac, though, because this says Guy Gardner is attempting to get Lobo back to Oa in one piece. But when House of Brainiac #2 or Part 2, Lobo's already on Earth because Superman comes and finds him like out in Coast City, I think. So it must be a little bit of a time thing there. But yeah, I just wanted to show you this really cool Doc Shaner variant, and then there is a Dave Johnson variant as well of how flying through the lantern symbol.
Next up, we got Rat City #2. This was a big hit around here for #1, the new Spawn universe, affectionately called Spawn 2099.
Spawn or Spawn Beyond.
It's basically that. That's a good way to wrap your mind around what this is about. But in the first issue, we didn't see our new character, Peter Cairn, become this new Spawn, but we saw the incident that led to it. Well, this one, Peter is struggling with his new powers, so it sounds like, he's going to start seeing what he can become. But the corporation that created him think that the powers belong to them. They're probably screaming, that's a trademark, or that's RIP or something like that. So really, really interesting #1, and I'm very excited to see where this series goes. This is our Berens A cover, and there is also a Keen variant. Very, very cool.
Next is Uncanny Valley #2. This is going to be a 6-issue miniseries, just to remind you. This one, the first issue was great. In this one, the mystery of Oliver's origin continues to unfold as his... And I love that they refer to what he can do as his powers. Yeah. Because I didn't really think of them as powers, but technically they are. But they're very cartoony powers, like if you want to call the power, like Saturday morning cartoons characters as having powers, like being able to get smashed with an anvil and be fine. That's what Oliver can do, right? But these new cartoonish powers of his seem to be connected to his mother's origin. And he is going to try to struggle to find his way in the world, but he doesn't know that there's sinister forces watching him from the other end of a portal.
Mm.
Don't really know where that portal goes, but I guess we'll find out as we read
Painted
it.
on the side of a wall, and it looks
Yeah,
like the
right.
train tracks continue, but
Right.
they don't.
Yeah, super. I love the first issue. Can't wait to read this one. This is our A cover, and then we have a Corona variant as well.
He's got a big mallet too, so
Yeah.
he can do some smacking.
Right.
Okay, next up we have Ghost Rider Final Vengeance #3. Series just really interests me with giving the Spirit of Vengeance to the Hood.
Mhm.
It kind of creates a very interesting dynamic because now in this one, the Hood, the newest Ghost Rider, plans his criminal takeover of Chicago. So it's interesting that the Spirit of Vengeance would align itself with someone kind of so
Right.
evil. But will Johnny Blaze be able to take the spirit back from him? Very interesting one here. I feel like, the Hood's going to have a short stint as Ghost
Yeah.
Rider, but it's going to be pretty impactful. So we've got our A cover right here. We have a Mark Texiera variant. Very cool. Very 90s.
Mhm.
And then we also have a Salvador LaRocca variant.
And next is Redcoat #2. All of the Ghost Machine stuff has been awesome so far. Can't wait to read this one. So this one's set in 1892. Simon Pure, we saw this in the first issue. Simon Pure has found himself the target of a mysterious cult who knows all about him somehow, all about his immortality. And in order to deal with them, he is going to have to get help from a 12-year-old Albert Einstein who is obsessed with unlocking the secrets to Simon's magic and his immortality. So we saw a little bit of Albert Einstein in the first one. I can't wait to see him in this one. We have our A cover right here, and then there is Ivan Rice variant as well.
Next up, we've got Hercules #2, or Disney's Hercules #2. This one continues as Olympus is falling. Some of the gods have gone missing. Hercules and his trainer Phil have to team up to figure it out. But before they can do that, Hephaestus has a mission for Hercules, tracking down a clockwork machine that may be responsible for his wife's disappearance. So if you read the Hercules #1, you enjoyed it, definitely get on the series with #2. We've got our A cover right here. And then we also have a Rinaldi negative space variant with a Meg.
Sorry, just making a note. Silicon Bandits #2. The first issue came out, I believe it was this week, and
Yep.
it was really cool. Written by Jason Starr, the artist by Dalibor Talajic. In this one, things really start to get going here because Kenji and Aurora, they got fired in the first issue from their job developing androids. And in this one, they take some of the androids that Kenji had been working on in secret. They take those androids and go on a crime spree because they said, we don't need to work anymore. We're just going to go steal everything we need. However, there are some things, but yeah, things seem to be going according to plan. But there are abnormalities in the android's programming that would suggest otherwise. And we know that the solicitation, of the first issue, they're going to use these androids for, doing crime and stealing things, but the android might end up having other plans. I don't know what they're going to do, but should be cool. So we have this A cover right here, and then we have a Parlov variant. Nothing to see here. Everything's A-okay.
Fellow humans.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got the Goon. Them That Don't Stay Dead #2. I loved issue 1 of this. I can't recommend it enough if you've never read Goon, or if you're a longtime Goon fan. This is a great installment in that series. This is still celebrating Goon's 25th anniversary, which is amazing. Eric Powell doing the writing and art on it. Fantastic. And an old villain returns in a new way to reclaim a lonely street unless Goon can stop him. If you read the first one, you know the sinister boy with the duck, the evil villain who's just a kid who holds a dead duck. Just so much fun, so funny, fantastic art. Don't miss out on that. So we've got our A cover here and our Jim Mahfood variant as well.
And next is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin 2, Re-Evolution #2. Just the second issue in this new era of new Ninja Turtles. Casey Marie and the new Turtles, who are now teenagers themselves, they have taken the mantle of the city's protectors, but they're unaware that a new foe is preparing to spring a trap which will plunge the city into violence and terror. But it should be interesting to see how they handle that, because they're still, they're sort of rookies, I guess. You know,
Yeah.
they're rookie ninjas, I guess. They can handle themselves, but they don't have a lot of experience yet. So Yeah, this first issue was great. This one should be too. This is our A cover, and then we have Kevin Eastman B cover.
Very cool. Next up, we got cool covers. We've seen a bunch of cool covers so far, but here are more. Starting with Spectacular Spider-Man #3, and there's a lot of weight to this cover. So, is love in the air? Miles and Kamala finally go on a date along with Peter and Gwen Stacy. What's up with that? Because she's supposed to be dead, and Miles is with Starling. So, there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. We've seen some other relationships play out in a weird way in this. And who's that mysterious figure in the background? If you read the previous issue, you know there's someone behind a lot of this that is pulling the strings. So, very interested to see how this all comes about. But looks like a fun issue. We've got our A cover right here. We've got a Lee Garbett homage variant.
I like that.
Yeah, that's really cool. And then we have a Steven Segovia variant.
I like that one too. Next is Ultimate Black Panther #4. We just got #3 this week. In this one, Shuri seizes the throne, which kind of made me think, oh, well, Shuri must be the traitor then. But she's doing it because T'Challa has been missing and presumed dead for weeks, right? So Shuri steps up as Wakanda's new leader. But she wants war against Ra and Khonshu, whereas T'Challa was a little bit more reserved. He wanted to get more information about that. She just wants to go attack him. And if she does that, what will it cost them? And plus we know that T'Challa's not dead. He's been hanging out with Killmonger and Storm for however long he's been gone, and we're going to get a little bit more of that as well. So just want to let you know, like we said earlier, the Ultimate books sell out super fast, so get your pre-orders in this weekend. This is our A cover, and we have a Boss Logic variant with Ra and Khonshu. That's this world's version of Ra and Khonshu, and there is a Raja variant as well.
Next up, we've got Fall of the House of X I put number X. No,
Whoops.
This is #5. I wouldn't put it past him to have a number X issue.
Yeah, like a Roman numeral.
Yeah, #5. And not a whole lot to say here. We are just careening ever closer to the finale of all of the Krakoan Age stuff. But this one, it just talks about Orcus versus the X-Men, which has been going on for a little while, but things are really heating up. So we've got our really cool David Nakayama connecting variant, and this really cool Joshua Cassara foreshadow variant. So what's this foreshadowing?
What is that foreshadowing?
Maybe Wolverine heading back into the wilderness. We know we'll probably be getting a new Wolverine series.
Yeah.
So I would be all for him going a little bit more savage.
Yeah,
once
back
again.
into the Canadian wilderness. Yeah.
Running with wolves, even though he's not Wolverine. He's a Wolverine.
Next is the Immortal Thor #11. Now, this says it's going to follow up on the Gods, like the miniseries Gods. It's going to follow up on the Gods page from Immortal Thor #1. If I remember correctly, that page, there wasn't a whole lot going on there, so I don't really know how it's going to follow up. But it does say that the children of Odin, including Thor and Loki and Angela that you see on the cover, Balda and more, gather together to search for one of their own. So it'd be cool to see Thor and all his brothers and sisters getting together and have a big family reunion. And we want to show you this really cool Arthur Adams cover featuring Angela.
Next up, we got Sensational She-Hulk #8, and this one they say is going to be big because this is the finale of Jen and Jack's epic space vacation. But it says your heart isn't ready for this issue. So maybe it's not all well with She-Hulk and Jack of Hearts. But want to show you these really cool covers.
I might end up listening to that new Taylor Swift album after I read this.
Fine.
Yeah.
I already have. This is the Genolette variant. And then we have this really nice Terry Dodson black costume variant.
I like that look for her.
Yeah, it's a very cool looking costume. And also want to talk about Star Wars issue 46. Just wanted to remind you that is continuing with these really cool Master and Apprentice variants with Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. And in this one, it is Operation Rescue Mon Mothma, as we are getting ever closer to the issue 50 of Star Wars, which is going to be big. So wanted to show you that really cool variant there.
Next is G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero #306. In this one, Destro and Zartan, they have formed a new partnership, but Zartan has a secret that's going to change everything. And meanwhile, Snake Eyes and Scarlet, they suffer a tragedy with someone close to them in Springfield. And if you've been reading, you might know who that is, but that might be a red herring too. Maybe
Yeah.
it's not who we're thinking. And we want to show you this. This is the A cover by Andy Kubert, but it looks so cool.
Yeah, very, very cool. Next up, we've got Sinister Sons #4. This really fun miniseries continues. I believe it's 6 issues.
I think so.
So there's like 2 more
Yeah,
left for
6
it.
issues.
And if you read the last one, you know the craziness they've gotten into. So will the boys get digested by a giant space whale? And will they defeat Spaceman Joe, who is also trapped inside of this giant space whale? Really, really fun series. And this is the Serge Acuna variant.
Sorry, Batman and Robin #9. This is my favorite Batman book on the stand. It's so much fun. In this one, who will be Gotham's true protector, Batman or Man-Bat? The citizens of Gotham will decide that for sure. And while that's all happening, Damian's knowledge of Shush's secrets, they create problems for him in high school. I love seeing Damian in high school. That's like my favorite parts of this whole series has been seeing him in school, and because he's a fish out of water completely, you know. So this has been a really fun series. I cannot wait for this one. This is the B cover by Gleb Melnikov, and then there is a Howard Porter variant as well.
And next up, we got graphic novels and more, and there's a lot of more in this one. Starting off,
this is the Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars #6 Facsimile edition. They have been, doing a facsimile of every single one of these. And here we're at the halfway point. No, yeah, we're at the halfway point with this one. And there's going to be a foil version of this as well.
Yep. Next up, we've got a lot of printings of some of your Energon universe books. So first up, we have Cobra Commander #2. This is the second printing. We've got a Transformers #5 second printing. We have a Transformers #5 second printing B cover. We've got a Transformers #6 second printing A cover. We've got a Transformers #6 second printing B cover. And a really cool variant or second printing for Void Rivals #7. This is once again when you kick yourself for not getting all of these because it's the coolest idea to have all the other printings be this singular character design.
I'm really upset that I haven't been getting any of these because I got the first prints. I was like, I don't need them, later printings, but they look so cool.
Yeah.
And if you got them all and put them all together, that would be a really cool display. And I hate that I haven't been getting them.
Yeah.
And next is the Superman by Kurt Busiek hardcover, Volume 1. So hopefully they're going to do some more of these. And this collects a bunch of cool stuff. So this is going to be $49.99. It collects Action Comics 837 through 843, Superman 650 through 658, the Man of Steel Annual #5, and then the 4-issue Superman Secret Identity miniseries, which was kind of like almost like Superman in the real world kind of thing. And then World's Finest Comics #308 and 309. And it did say that this is the first of a new line of hardcovers they're going to be doing too. So I guess maybe it's going to start here and then they're going to continue, the next issues of those in future hardcovers. So that sounds really cool. Yeah.
And how much was that one?
Oh, that one is $49.99.
Cool. And next up, we've got X-Men animated series, Feared and Hated. So, perfect timing for this. Bringing back some of the X-Men Adventures comics. This is collecting X-Men Adventures 1 through 8, which are kind of... It's funny to think that the show is an adaptation of the comic, but then this comic is an adaptation of the show.
That's an adaptation of the comic, yeah.
Because this one, we have the X-Men battle the misunderstood Morlocks, and Cable appears from the future. So it's kind of like retelling those classic stories, but with this version of the X-Men. This very 90s, this looking version of the X-Men and everything. So this is really cool. And this is only $13.99.
And it's cool that they're putting this out too, because the X-Men animated series, like the X-Men Adventures, there's an omnibus of it, of all of it, but there hasn't been a more digestible version of it in a really long time. You have to either read digital or go find the back issues. So it's really cool that they're putting this out in a smaller size.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we have the Hawkeye Modern Era Epic Collection. And this collects, this is going to be $44.99, and this collects a whole bunch of different Hawkeye miniseries from, I think it was around the mid 2000s. There was a whole bunch of different miniseries where Hawkeye teamed up with Mockingbird, and also Black Widow was in there, and just you can see everybody on the cover that was involved: Swordsman and
Bones.
Fire. I think the red guy back there,
yeah.
cross something. Crisscross, I don't know, but yeah, just a whole bunch of. So it's not like one big run of anything. It's just a whole bunch of different Hawkeye miniseries, and I love that Mockingbird features a lot too because she's a great character, and they have a rich history. Yeah, so another cool modern era epic collection.
I love these modern era
Yeah.
epic collections to get stuff that is a little too new, to have like, I don't know, it's stuff that hasn't been in print for a while,
Right.
but it's still really cool. And only for $44.99 is
yeah.
really good. And that is it for Comics from the Future. Thank you so much for watching. Definitely head over to infinityflux.net where you can pre-order these books we just talked about, and your pre-orders are due by Sunday afternoon, so you don't miss out on any of the goodness. Now, we want to tell you we're coming ever closer to Free Comic Book Day. Coming up on May 4th. So be on the lookout. We are planning our big Free Comic Book Day show.
Yep.
We're going over all the free comics, tell you what to be on the lookout for when you head into your store on that very busy day. And just very fun.
It's the best day. It's my favorite, one of my favorite days of the year because it's so much fun. There's so many people here in store, so many people to talk to. The energy is just like electric on that day. This year it falls on Star Wars Day. You're a huge Star Wars fan. You did the art in the Star Wars book. You're going to be signing. It's like the planets have aligned to make this a humongous free comic book day. Some of the free comic, like the Marvel and DC stuff, we're going to get our first looks at Absolute Power and the new X-Men stuff. Like, it's just like, it's going to be insane. So, yeah, mark your calendars and be sure to like, subscribe, and do all the things so that you can see our video coming up within the next week or two.
Yeah.
It'll be before Free Comic Day for sure.
Yeah, we'll give you, it'll be plenty of time so you can watch it and prepare all your notes, your checklist of stuff you want to get. And we've got, of course, our video coming out on Monday where we'll be going over some of the biggest and best books that we'll be releasing next week. And is there an emoji?
Well, we talked about Free Comic Day, and I said mark your calendar. So leave us a little calendar emoji to let us know that you made it, and to let us know that you are ready and can't wait for Free Comic Book Day like we are.
Absolutely. And until next time, see ya.